Hey guys, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel and another ink swatching video. This is the second half of the ink samples I was able to pick up at my first ever pen made up with Melbourne fountain pen peeps, the Melbourne pen posse I think it's called. So on the left we have three kind of in a similar family, chromo shadery, and this set is going to be really different, all really punchy inks. Never tried any of these, and actually one brand I've never heard of, but I can even just see through the vial and from the pen made up that these are punchy inks, which is exciting, something a bit different for me. So then for you too. First up is Private Reserve Plum. This is the first Private Reserve ink I've ever tried, and side note, it stained my stainless steel cup on the bottom, so I guess maybe something to be aware of when we're putting it in a pen. In my head, Plum is darker. That really reads magenta to me, but as you can see, super punchy, super saturated. Made a bit of a mess because I put my cup down a bit too hard, no idea why, but I mean, it's a fun ink, isn't it? It would be great to write a letter with, or do some handwriting practice, even just if I guess I'm literally recording this voiceover and it's miserable. We're in autumn. They're really heading into winter in Melbourne, so it doesn't feel like an ink that is really fitting in with my day. But every ink has a time and place, and maybe this is one when it gets a bit hotter. So something to keep in mind with this ink, or my experience in using it, is it felt really, really wet on the nib, almost too wet. Not like I was losing control of the nib, but it's almost like it could have maybe slid away from me just a little bit. So if that's something that you take into account, just to be aware of it. I could see this one being a bit of a smudger of an ink. I don't really know anything about Private Reserve inks to know if that's a characteristic of those inks or not, but wanted to share that with you. Next up, we have a Monteverde ink from their Noir series. This is Monteverde Copper Noir. I have looked at the Noir series online before, seen a few people swatch them. It's a series that I'm really interested in and intrigued by, so was really excited and lucky. Someone at the pen meetup of the Private Reserve and of this one brought a bottle and had a syringe, and as long as we had a spare sample vial, was just giving out ink, which is amazing. I understand the copper reference. Again, it's a bright, punchy ink. It's like an auburny, it's not orange, browny, autumnal something to it. There's just a warmth and don't have another adjective. I'm not sure, I guess, like copper noir, because it's on the darker side. Where it's pooling, you can see how rich and deep it is. Writing with this one compared to the one above, this is not a dry ink by any means whatsoever, but it actually felt better on the nib. The Plum was just that touch too wet for this nib and for me, and this actually, I think maybe just doing them one after another, I could really notice that difference. This felt great on the nib to write with, and I think it looks great on the page. It's one of those colours that hits that sweet spot of it is a clear colour, but it's dark enough to read. And that is just ding, ding, ding in my book. I love that. When I first looked at it, I wanted to use orange to describe it, but it's the wrong color. It is not an orange ink. It is much more related to that brown family, toffee. It almost has like a nutty element to it. It's a really intriguing ink, and I think would look really beautiful to write with. And I'm just thinking about if I have a pen that comes to mind to pair with it, and I don't think I do. I don't want to put this in a pen, a black pen. I'll have to have a think about that, but it's an ink I very much would love to use sooner rather than later, probably because we are in autumn, even though I don't match my colours to the seasons at all, but I just think it's really lovely. As you can see, guys, I somehow stuffed up filming. I thought I was filming when I did the swatch for Tucan Sienna, but I was not. So I'm really sorry, but the last swatch is an ink brand I've never heard of and an ink I've never seen, Tucan Sienna. I'm just going to see if I wanted to look at it compared to like Diamond Sunset, which is like a really true orange. But as you can see, both the Copper Noir and the Tucan Sienna are very clearly not in the orange family. I'm so sorry I stuffed up that swatch, but it's a really beautiful color and one I'm excited to use as well. I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching and can't wait to chat to you guys again soon. Bye.